A dramatic weekend may have cost a couple of teams dearly, but it means we are set for a series of mini-elimination finals. There are 3 rounds left in the home and away season, so we need to look at how every team is shaping up. Live stream every match of every round of the 2018 Toyota AFL Premiership season. Sign up now. Greater than round 20. This is the Run Home, where foxfooty.com.au analyzes every club's remaining fixture and tries to predict how the rest of the year will play out. Which teams could take advantage of an easy draw and which clubs could be in trouble based on a tough last few games. Here's what we think will happen. Projected final series. First qualifying final, 1v4, Richmond v GWS Giants. First elimination final, 5v8, Melbourne v Port Adelaide. A second elimination final, 6v7, Geelong Cats v Hawthorn. Second qualifying final, 2v3, West Coast Eagles v Collingwood. Projected ladder ranked team project. Record 1 Rick 1842, WC 1753, Call 1574, GWS 14715, Mel 1486, G 1487, Ha 1378, Pa 1379, NM 13710, Sid 13711. 812-1012, S111113, Free 81414, WB 71515, BL 51716, STK 417117, GC 41818, CAR 220. Every team's run home is analyzed below. They are listed in their current ladder order. The CONTENDERS 1. Richmond, 15-4, 135.7%. Remaining games, Gold Coast Suns at MS, Essendon at MCG, Western Bulldogs at MIG. Remaining fixture difficulty, 18th hardest. Opponents average percentage, 79.23. No top 8 opponents, 1 game out of home state. Percentage of teams making top 8 from current record, 1994 to 2016, 100%. Most of us thought Richmond would get through its 2 big remaining MCG tests unscathed, but probably not as close as they ended up being. We agree with Chris Scott, the Tigers are certainly gettable this season, but not for the minor premiership. If the Tigers lose another game this season, it will be a major surprise. Admittedly, the Bombers are improved from the dream time at the G-thumping, but you'd still be picking Damien Hardwick's men to roll through the rest of August. Only a Ross Lyon-style resting of players should stop that. Fox Footy's projection, 3 wins, finishing 18-4, first, 2. West Coast Eagles, 14-5, 124.1%. Remaining games, Port Adelaide at O, Melbourne at OS, Brisbane Lions at Gabba. Remaining fixture difficulty, 6th hardest. Opponents average percentage, 112.7. 2 top 8 opponents, 2 games out of home state. Percentage of teams making top 8 from current record, 100%. The Andrew Gaff incident aside, it was a good round for West Coast. Collingwood's loss means the Eagles are a game and a half clear of their closest ladder rival, GWS. That means the home final should be the Eagles unless they lose 2 of their next 3 games, which is admittedly possible given Port and Melbourne will be desperate and dangerous. We still think West Coast is good enough to at least win 1, and then avoid the Brisbane pothole, to ensure a top 2 finish. In fact, we think they'll win all 3. Fox Footy's projection, 3 wins, finishing 17-5. Second, Gaff apologizes after hit 0-513. GWS Giants, the 1st of June, 12, 120.8%. Remaining games, Adelaide Crows at UNSW, Sydney Swans at Spotless, Melbourne at MIG. Remaining fixture difficulty, 5th hardest. Opponents average percentage, 113.67. 2 top 8 opponents, 1 game out of home state. Percentage of teams making top 8 from current record, 100%. The Giants got an unnecessary percentage booster against Carlton, but it actually might cause them a lot of pain. A rash of injuries going into a very tough part of the fixture means GWS isn't a sure thing to play finals, as the vibe around them would have you thinking. 1 more win should ensure September footy, but none of their remaining games are easy ones. They should be able to handle the Crows in Canberra, but if not, they could be facing a battle of the bridge where either only the winner can play finals, or a round 23 showdown with Melbourne, who should also need a win to ensure finals footy. The Giants at their best gonna win all of those. We're not sure they'll be at that level, but they should be good enough to make it, and make the top 4. Fox Footy's projection, 2 wins, finishing the 1st of July 14. 4th, is Delladio season in doubt, 0-424. Melbourne, 12-7, 132.8%. Remaining games, Sydney Swans at MCG, West Coast Eagles at OS, GWS Giants at MIG. Remaining fixture difficulty, second hardest, opponents average percentage 118.17, 3 top 8 opponents, 1 game out of home state, percentage of teams making top 8 from current record, 100%. This is where the race to 13 wins, the mark every team must get to have a chance of play finals, begins. With the Geelong game accepted, Melbourne has done what it needs to do for the last 5 weeks: beat who they should beat and build percentage. That percentage is worth an extra game on the ladder, really, given how far ahead the Demons are of their fellow 12-win rivals. You'd say if Melbourne wins again this season, it will play finals, given no one is going to finish on 13 with a better percentage, and it's hard to see 8 teams reaching 14. Next week is probably the best chance for them to do that, as even though Sydney got over the line against Collingwood, that was thanks to a combination of Magpies injuries, Buddy being at his best and a freak game-winning goal. The Swans can't count on all 3 of those every week. At the very least, these fans, you're not going to get a repeat of 2017's live ladder watch. Fox Footy's projection, 2 wins, finishing 14-8, 5th on percentage. Get the ultimate AFL experience on your phone with the new Fox Footy app. Download it now for free on iOS and Android. 5. Hawthorn, 12-7, 121.4%. Remaining games, Geelong Cats at MCG, St Kilda at S, Sydney Swans at SHIG. Remaining fixture difficulty, 12th hardest, opponents average percentage 101.17, 1 top 8 opponent, 1 game out of home state, percentage of teams making top 8 from current record, 100%. It wouldn't have been a killer blow for Hawthorn season to lose to Essendon, especially given their strong percentage, but it would have been close. 2 50-50 games against Geelong and Sydney, plus 1 should win against St Kilda, mean the Hawks have a clear path to 13 wins and a reasonably good chance of 14. We'll give them 13. That should almost certainly still be enough to make the 8, because it would be tough for 3 of Port Adelaide, Sydney and North Melbourne to pass them on percentage if they reach that mark as well. Fox Footy's projection, 1 win, finishing 13-9, 7th on percentage. Swan wins game, and GOTY, 1-116. Collingwood, 12-7, 117.1%. Remaining games, Brisbane Lions at S, Port Adelaide at MCG, Fremantle at Oz. Remaining fixture difficulty, 14th hardest, opponents average percentage 94.63, 1 top 8 opponent, 1 game out of home state, percentage of teams making top 8 from current record, 100%. It looks bad that Collingwood dropped from 3rd to 6th over the course of round 20, and the loss to Sydney could indeed be costly. But the other teams on 12 wins all have 2 or more games left against finals contenders. The Magpies only have 1, and it's the Power, in Melbourne no less. Even with their injuries, we'd be more confident picking Collingwood to go from 12 wins to 14 or 15 than any of the other options, almost based on the fixture alone. Fox Footy's projection, 3 wins, finishing 15-7, 3rd. Walters takes amazing mark 0-437. Port Adelaide, 12-7, 114.9%. Remaining games, West Coast Eagles at out, Collingwood at MCG, Essendon at AO. Remaining fixture difficulty, 4th hardest, opponents average percentage 114.5, 2 top 8 opponents, 1 game out of home state, percentage of teams making top 8 from current record, 100%. We can't blame the score review. Port Adelaide didn't deserve to beat Adelaide either way. And now the Power are back in the massive 12-win teams, and face the real possibility of missing the 8. They have a similar story to that of Melbourne and Sydney, no easy games left on the fixture. And so Ken Hinckley's side can either show it's good enough to make the 8, or fall flat on its face and be stuck on 12 wins and miss out entirely. We have the power season coming down to that round 23 Friday night game against Essendon. They should be able to win that and then hold on via percentage. But it's going to be mighty close. Fox Footy's projection, 1 win, finishing 13-9, 8th on percentage. AJ's emotional return to AFL 1-058. Sydney Swans, 12-7, 109.9%. Remaining games, Melbourne at MCG, GWS Giants at Spotless, Hawthorn at Shig. Remaining fixture difficulty, hardest opponents, average percentage 125, 3 top 8 opponents, 1 game out of home state, percentage of teams making top 8 from current record, 100%. No team has ever missed the top 8 from a 12-7 record. That stat can continue to be true, given the Swans sit 8th right now, but with the hardest remaining draw in the competition we think they will be unfortunate history makers. Even with their win over Collingwood, we remain unimpressed with Sydney, particularly in attack. 73 points was their second highest score in the last 7 weeks. While their defense stood up, that was partially because the Pies were missing so many key contributors. We think there's a fair chance they lose all 3 of their remaining games, but even if they win one, the Swans would likely lose any tiebreaker based on percentage. They're certainly not going to build much more between now and the end of the season. The good thing is they're in the 8 right now. Sydney well and truly controls its own destiny. We just don't think they can keep control for long. Fox Footy's projection, 1 win, finishing 13-9, 10th on percentage, 9. Geelong Cats, 11-8, 118.8%. Remaining games, Hawthorn at MCG, Fremantle at GMHBA, Gold Coast Suns at GMHBA. Remaining fixture difficulty, 15th hardest, opponents average percentage 87.4, 1 top 8 opponent, no games out of home state, percentage of teams making top 8 from current record, 84.8%. There was a strange number of people who said after Friday night that Geelong had just lost its grand final, and was going to miss the top 8 because it couldn't beat Richmond. This is why the run home is here, to tell those people they're wrong. It would obviously look a bit better for the Cats if they weren't a win out of the top 8 right now, but with one of the easier remaining fixtures, they should still make it. In the race for 13, the Cats arguably have an easier path than teams like Sydney, Port Adelaide and Melbourne, even though they're a game back of those teams. Really, if the team that nearly beat Richmond at the MCG can't beat Fremantle and Gold Coast at the Cattery, then they don't deserve to play finals anyway. Fox Footy's projection, 3 wins, finishing 14-8, 6 on percentage. Game-winning goal controversy 1-1410. North Melbourne, 11-8, 110.1%. Remaining games, Western Bulldogs at S, Adelaide Crows at AU, St Kilda at S. Remaining fixture difficulty, 17th hardest, opponents average percentage 82.3, no top 8 opponents, 1 game out of home state, percentage of teams making top 8 from current record, 84.8%. The teams coached by the Scott brothers face the same next 3 weeks, 2 winnable games that should allow them to reach the magical mark of 13, and 1 tougher game that they can win to almost guarantee themselves finals. The Kangaroos' tough game, facing the Crows in Adelaide, is a bit harder than the Cats' one of facing the Hawks at the MCG though, we think. However, there's one major caveat on our prediction of North finishing 9th. Percentage is very tough to tip, obviously, and right now the Roos would finish below Port if they both end on 13 wins, as we have it. But the Roos have 2 chances to build that percentage against the Dogs and Saints, and that St Kilda game is the last of the season. North would therefore know how much it needs to win by to make the 8. Yes, friends, it could be West Coast v Adelaide all over again. Fox Footy's projection, 2 wins, finishing 13-9, 9th on percentage. Hawks cheeky drop kick 0-2,311. Essendon, 10-9, 102.3%. Remaining games, St Kilda at S, Richmond at MCG, Port Adelaide at AO. Remaining fixture difficulty, 7th hardest. Opponents average percentage 108.57, 2 top 8 opponents, 1 game out of home state. Percentage of teams making top 8 from current record, 53.1%. The SSENDON season is over unless it can beat Richmond at the MCG. That's the pretty simple equation. As we've said above, it's almost certain that 13 wins will be necessary to make the 8 this season, and the Bombers can only reach that mark by downing the Tigers. Oh, and beating Port and Adelaide the week after, as well. There's a chance they can sneak in with 12 wins. It would probably need to involve Sydney, Geelong and North all going winless from here, but it's a Dumb and Dumber style, so you're saying, chance. Fox Footy's projection, 1 win, finishing 11-11, 12th. Rainer miss costs Lions 1-09-12. Adelaide Crows, 10-9, 98.6%. Remaining games, GWS Giants at UNSW, North Melbourne at out, Carlton at S. Remaining fixture difficulty, 13th hardest. Opponents average percentage 97, 1 top 8 opponent, 2 games out of home state. Percentage of teams making top 8 from current record, 53.1%. It's not quite to the stage where Adelaide is entirely reliant on help to make the 8, as their path to 13 wins doesn't run through Richmond at the MCG. But even if the Crows do win out from here, their very poor percentage should ruin their finals chances. They're good, but as we've said week after week, it's all too late. Fox Footy's projection, 2 wins, finishing 12-10, 11th. Goddard's costly brain fade 0-37, eliminated 13. Fremantle, 7-12, 78.6%. Remaining games, West Coast Eagles at OS, Carlton at OS, Geelong Cats at GMHBA, Collingwood at OSFOX. Footy's projection, 1 win, finishing 8-14, 13th, 14. Western Bulldogs, 6-13, 73.2%. Remaining games, North Melbourne at S, Carlton at S, Richmond at McFox. Footy's projection, 1 win, finishing 7-15, 14th, 15. St Kilda, 4-1-4-1, 75.1%. Remaining games, Essendon at S, Hawthorn at S, North Melbourne at S. Fox Footy's projection, no wins, finishing 4-1-8-1, 16th, 16. Brisbane Lions, 4-15, 90.4%. Remaining games, Collingwood at S, Gold Coast Suns at MS, West Coast Eagles at Gabba. Fox Footy's projection, 1 win, finishing 5-17, 15th, 17. Gold Coast Suns, 4-15, 62.2%. Remaining games, Richmond at MS, Brisbane Lions at MS, Geelong Cats at GMH. Fox Footy's projection, no wins, finishing 4-18, 17th, 18. Carlton, 2-17, 60.1%. Remaining games, Fremantle at OS, Western Bulldogs at S, Adelaide Crows at S. Fox Footy's projection, no wins, finishing 2-20, 18th.